busy with their Saturday night commitments. So, very good morning to people joining from US, Canada, and a good evening to folks who are joining from India. My name is Vivek Agrawal. I passed out from NITI in 1995 January, IE 23 batch. I'm the founder of this group LAMDA. Many people must be wondering what is LAMDA. So it was in late 2021 when people were indoors due to COVID. I thought, how do I bring people together, bring some kind of fun element in their life while we are all indoors, and thought of starting a group for literature, art, music, dance, and acting. So that is what Lambda is. Of course, it's also a mathematical term, which is my other passion. So right from my school, college days, I have been extremely passionate about literature, music, drama, art, dance, acting, etc. But after we all leave college, we pursue our professional interest, and slowly these things take a back seat. Very few people are fortunate who are able to continue, follow their passion, or even make it a profession. So when I had just started Lambda, I came across Meer. Now Meer is about maybe seventh batch, so 16 batches senior to me. And it was quite an accident that, I came across him almost in the first 1 or 2 months of Lambda, and I was fascinated. He shared the interests which I had, but he had taken them to totally different level, which I could not even probably dream of. He was deeply interested in theater. He produced a movie and did not just produce it, but it was a master class in the business studies on how to make movie with low budgets and yet make it extremely successful and appealing. And he won Filmfare Award, and movie became a mega super hit movie, so much so that once I was playing cricket with some 15, 16-year-old guys. They were all Telugu guys, so I thought of just checking with them, have they heard of this movie? And they just said, of course, yes. So that's how I came to know about Meer. And immediately, a few weeks later, we did an interview with Meer where Shashi was the host. I was looking for a host who can converse in Telugu and also has an understanding of Telugu movies. So Shashi is 2 batches junior to me from college and extremely passionate about art, music, drama, and the movies. I still remember when we started interviewing Meer for 2 minutes, it was like a fanboy moment for Shashi. So then I could really understand the impact his movie had on that generation. So today we have Meer with us again, and this time there's a special reason. Like I said, many of us want to pursue our interest, but we are not able to do so. So why not we take the opportunity which Meer is presenting to us? He's looking to make a sequel of the movie, and not just sequel of this movie, but another few more movies which he has in the pipeline. And he's again applying all his industrial engineering and management principles to keep the cost under check and yet create something valuable for the audience. So from here, I will not take any more time. I would like to invite my friend and the host for the today evening, Shashi, who will be interviewing me and also taking all of the questions. Over to you, Shashi, for rest of the evening.
Thank you very much, Vivek. And thanks everyone for joining in today. Look, I was almost 2 years back or 2.5 years back. I remember it was during the peak of the COVID season. I had the pleasure and to introduce Meer to this group. At that time, we talked about Padamati Sandhya Ragam, which was the Telugu movie that Vivek was referring to. For the sake of everyone else, we'll now going forward, we'll just call it PSR. That movie was an iconic movie. We all grew up with that movie. It was iconic for many reasons. Of course, it had a very nice plot. It was written, screenplay and direction was by a legend in the Telugu film industry. His name is Jandhyala. For the North Indian audiences, you could say Jandhyala was like the Rishikesh Mukherjee of the South, or even Gulzar of the South, right? So that's the kind of talent that Meer attracted for that movie. It also had other big names. It had S.P. Balasubramaniam, who did the music direction and also, of course, sang songs. and it had Vijay Shanti in the lead role, Sandhya, the main heroine of the movie. So we talked about it, Meer. That was almost 2 years back. So it's a pleasure. Let me add you to the spotlight. So it's a pleasure to have you back. And I know you have some very exciting news to share. Before we go into all of that, just let me take a few minutes to introduce you, and then of course I'll let you introduce yourself as well. Look, Meer, as Vivek mentioned, is from NITI, Indian Institute of Management, Mumbai. He is from the 7th batch. So in IIM Mumbai, we have this batch system. So we all know where one is. So I am from, for example, from the 2nd batch of industry management, which is the equivalent of the 25th batch. So Meer is from the 7th batch. So accordingly, you can do the math. We'll talk about Meer's artistic pursuits in a second. But Meer, before that, would you just want to talk about what did you do from a professional perspective after graduating from NITI?
Well, thank you for asking that, Shashi, and thanks, Vivek, for bringing me to LAMDA members. LAMDA is one of my favorite groups because Kalakar Log, as I call it, and is a group of Kalakars, and I was also one of you, trying to spark something in me. But even before we go there, Shashi, thanks for you asked me that question, because after NITI, right, I'm a fairly successful management consultant. I have like 25 years. I founded and ran fairly successfully a management company in the US. I know something like program director type of a role, reporting to the C-level executives, managing the business transformation, IT transformation landscapes, running projects, $100+ million budget with 150 team members. It was quite a bit of accomplishment from my perspective, but nobody talks about it. The only thing people talk about is Padamati Sandhya Ragam. And yeah, that's what I did. After NITI, I came to US and started doing the stuff all of us do. But deep down, there is something in me that said, hey, you need to do something else. We'll talk about that later, Shashi. Yeah. Did I answer your question?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Thank you. So Meer, look, this interview, Meer, and more for the audience, the way we would go about it is that I collected some questions from the LAMDA group and from some other groups as well. So I have those questions, which of course we'll go through. But others on the call, please feel free to, if you at any point in time, if you have any questions, feel free to either type your question in the chat, and I will be happy to use that. Or if you want to raise your hand and ask a question, that's also very welcome. This is a conversation. It is not a formal session. So please feel free to participate whenever you want. So that said, let me go to the first question that came up in the polling that I did on LAMDA, right? So Meer, without going too much into what the project is, which we will do later, right? But if you were to step back, right, and if the question to you is that, what is the bigger purpose, right, behind this movie making that you are driving? What differentiates your kind of movie making from others, right? Just talk to us about the bigger concept that you have.
Right. There are two things actually that were drivers for me personally.
Yeah.
I was doing quite good overall, career-wise, family, friends, enjoyment. But there is something, there's a little bit of a kalakar, like I just said, in me, right? I used to act and write and direct stage plays in college. I did it in Mumbai when I was in, then it's called NITI, now IIM. Did some Doordarshan shows and did some All India Radio, shows and all that. When I came back to US, everybody here in the US is supporting movies. We see movies. We invite movie stars. We buy their tickets. So basically, we pretty much sponsor the movie industry, especially in a big way in US also, right? My question is, has movie industry come to me or come to any of the new talent that we have out there? Sure, we are engineers, managers, but all of us carry something. Literature, arts, music, dance, and acting capabilities, LAMDA. And I was one of them, and several of my friends who acted with me on the stage, they're fairly talented. So nobody is asking us that question. Nobody is giving us the opportunity. So then I said, why don't we create an opportunity for ourselves? That's when I put together the concept, a bunch of friends who believed in the area. There are a lot of people who said negative things. Oh, you don't have experience, you don't have money, you don't have film contacts, you don't have this, you don't have that. There are 99 reasons why you should not do it. But you know what? That brings me to my second inspiration, second driver, and that is this great man called Walt Disney. You know, Walt Disney has taken a small little mouse and he created an entertainment capital of the world. And he just said, all your dreams can come true. All your dreams can come true if you had the courage to pursue them. That somehow stuck in me. And Walt's story was like he was rejected by so many banks, so many people. He put everything he had, his personal money and everything at stake at every stage, not just once, at every stage. He was a kalakar, true kalakar. And I also call him not kalakar, kalakar. In Telugu, it makes sense more than in Hindi. Kalakarudu means artist. I also say for a kalakarudu to be successful, you have to be a kalakarudu. Kalakarudu means kala is dream. And you have to dream. You have to dream big. And then with a sane approach, you have to pursue the dream with massive action. So that's what I tried to do. I was not in any position to start this movie, Padamati Sandhya Ragam. I had $5,000. I was living in an apartment with a roommate. Not much experience, but I had the passion. I had the NITI and IIM behind me. And that's all I had. And the rest is actually a history, as they call it.
Okay. So Meer, so switching from history to the future, right?
Right.
So
now,
yeah, so go ahead. Sorry.
The future is this. After that, after Padamati Sandhya Ragam, what happened is my company was already doing well. A lot of customers. So I could not, what you call, continue doing what I wanted to do. Papi pet ka bhi khayal rakhna padta hai. And I got married, I got kids. I said, wow, I have now all of a sudden another set of responsibilities. So, but I did not want to do both simultaneously. At one time, you cannot take care of the company and the family and then this dream. That will not work. So what I did was, let's wait for the right moment. And the right moment has come. People ask me, so how are you going to do this? What are you going to do? I said the best chance for me to re-enter filmmaking, which was my number one passion. That's why I like this group. That's why I like LAMDA members. All of you have a spark. And I also had that little spark. But I did not want to forget about that spark. So people ask me, so what did you do? Why did you not go and find some stars? I found some stars like Janjhala and Vijay Santi, S.P. Balasubramaniam, the architects. But we also found a new talent. That was my other driver. The very first driver was to introduce new talent. And we introduced a guy called Thomas Jane, who is the hero of Padamati Sandhya Ragam. He just finished his high school. He had a ton of passion to be an actor. He was in Baltimore. And he made a move, a small move. He registered with a talent agency. And we were looking for a hero. We reached out to the talent agency and we said, hey, we are looking for a blue-eyed, blonde American boy to lead one of the films we are trying to make. This lady never heard of Telugu in her entire life. So we told her, oh, this is a language spoken by a bunch of Indians out there, blah, blah, blah. So we asked her to give her some profiles of potential young guys who could go as heroes, as leading men in the movie. And he was one of the 100 profiles she gave me. And we went through a screening process. We selected 10. Out of those, we selected 5. Out of those, we selected 3. And he was the second of the 3. The first guy didn't make it for some reason. He was not reachable or something. So Tom ended up becoming our leading man. The only thing I saw in him was his passion. And so when I asked him, hey, how much money do you want for this? It's a low budget film. He said, oh, all I want is my rent money. So we paid him $250 a week so he can pay his rent. He was eating with us, sambar, pappu, and everything, part of the crew. And he acted with us, right? But do you know, can you guess where he is today? Anyone?
I know, but I'll let others.
He is in Hollywood. He charges about $1.5 to $2 million a movie. He also produced movies. He won some Golden Globe Awards. He invited me to LA for his Golden Globe Award ceremony. That's what I call passion when pursued tirelessly, diligently, will get you somewhere. Forget about Walt Disney. He's like a too big a man. In my own life, I have seen Tom. So every one of you can be a Tom. That's really something that will make me not sleep at nights about this project. So that, to answer your question, Shashi, is the next gen concept that I'm trying to do. It's a startup company. I'm just not making another film and going home. No, sir. I've stopped my management consulting business. I make a ton of money actually in management consulting. Some of my friends think that this is nuts. What the hell are you doing? So whenever people tell me you are nuts, that actually inspires me more. So I stopped a management consulting company. So I have established a company in India. There is a film company also in the US. And the purpose of this company is I don't want this to be my company. I want this to be our company. Kalakar Logon ki company. That's why I'm selling the shares to raise the capital, which is not a heck of a lot. Only about $500,000 total. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make low budget, low risk, artistic films. You mentioned Gulzar, Rishikesh, they're all my role models too. That's why we chose Janjala. The other of my role models are Bapu Garu, Vishwanath in Telugu film industry. Hindi, of course, all time my best film that I love is Anand. Was written by Gulzar and directed by Rishikesh Mukherjee. My two role models. Those are the kind of impactful movies I want to make. And how to do that? To do that, I got already financing. People from film industry wanted to buy shares, give me money to produce this film. And I politely said no. This is a crazy thing. What I'm trying to do is hard to do. But I know that this is what I want to do, a next-gen project.
Yeah.
That's where I'm headed, Shashi.
Yeah, so Meer, you have been on broadcast media quite a bit, and I watched your interview on Sakshi. I know we have an RJ from Vancouver who's on this call right now who will interview you next. So a few themes of your project, what you called as a project that I've picked up, and just want you to highlight some of the nuances of that. I think the first one that you said as a project is that you're looking to make few movies, not just one, right? So over the next 4 to 5 years, that's one thing that I picked up from all your interviews. The second piece that I picked up is that you, of course, want to start with a sequel, but it's not only a sequel, it's also an independent movie. Could you speak a little bit about some of these contours of this new project?
That's a great
that you think
question
are
because
important?
I have like 7 or 8 concepts.
Yeah.
One of the concepts actually involves Thomas Jane as a lead role. That could be my 3rd or 4th movie. Maro Sandhya Ragam is the name of the sequel. Padamati Sandhya Ragam, Maro Sandhya Ragam. If you don't know Telugu, it's Maro means another Sandhya Ragam. This time it will be shot in India. Because with Padamati Sandhya Ragam, the corporate goal charter was to show the beauty of US. At that time, USA is not very well known for a lot of Indians at that time. So we wanted to showcase the life of a typical immigrant from India, a family in the US, then showcase the Indian life, American life, and all that. The charter of the next movie will be to showcase the Indian heritage, Indian nativity to America. It's totally the opposite concept, but it's very timely because India is like growing like crazy. We are number 4 or number 5 in GDP. It's on the center stage. That's why this is not a Telugu film. This is actually 2 films I'm making for the price of one, industry engineering, right? So Telugu will be Indian version. Same time with almost 5% extra cost. This will be a English independent film. So the Telugu version will be dubbed into Hindi, Tamil, Malayalam and Bengali, all those languages. We make some extra money in dubbing rights. But I'm also counting on the English version. This is for worldwide audience, right? So this is how we're entering through this company. This company is called Vizari. Veena and Zarina are names of my 2 daughters.
Your daughters, yes.
Yeah, so that's how creative I could get there.
Yeah.
But anyway, we enter the market because there's already a lot of goodwill for Padamati Sandhya Ragam. When I announced it in Hyderabad in Ravindra Bharati, the same day, I was approached by 2 buyers, OTT buyers. And I was also approached by a guy who would want to finance the whole thing. He wants to produce it. Like I just said, I didn't want to do that. I politely declined, but I did take the offer of the OTT buyers that I would talk to them first before going, totally outside of them. Before going to Netflix and all those Eros and all that, I said I will talk to them. But so this is giving me a good inspiration now. There's a lot of industry is embarked on it. I was talking to several folks, Ramoji Films and Annapurna Studios. They are very kind to me. I talked to them, had meetings with them, whatever information I need, whatever help I need, they're ready to jump in. But that is only a sequel. It's only the beginning. There is like 7 or 8 storylines I have. They are all different. I'm a story writer myself. The stories I wrote are totally different. They are not like same thing. So one of my writer role models was Irving Wallace. If you have read Irving Wallace, all his novels are totally different. There is nothing, no theme similarities. So these are the kind of films I want to make. Some of them may even shock you in content. So you keep watching, as they say, it's coming to a theater near you 1 year one movie at a time.
Yeah. So some of those themes, just want to recap. I think it seems like, you're looking at a portfolio of films, right?
Right.
As a project. So 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever. But it's a portfolio of films. The second is
Right.
Maro Sandhya Ragam is a sequel, but at the same time, it's also an independent film because you'll be making it in English for the American audiences. And then you'll also be dubbing it into multiple languages. And I think that's where one of my conversations with my good friend Vivek, is that we always lament about how Telugu movies, particularly the songs, when they get dubbed into Hindi, they get completely, they're like really bad lyrics, right? So I'm sure you'll have talented lyricists from this group who can help you dub them
Yes.
with better lyrics, right? So that the originality of the Telugu songs would be retained as they go into Hindi and some of the other languages. Anyhow,
I'm actually counting on it. I'm actually counting on it. There's a guy here right on the screen who writes good poetry, and there are several others. For the Hindi dubbing version, I actually went to Kerala, believe it or not, Hill Resort. One of the manager ladies there, somebody told me when they know that I was making a film. And last day, as we were checking out, I asked her, "Hey, do you mind singing it for me?" I said, "No," and she sang. I heard it. I recorded that video, and I told her, I will try my best to get you an opportunity to sing in the Malayalam version. So for Hindi version, people on this group who are talented artists in writing or poetry or whatever, so that obviously is not at all ruled out, and that's the reason why I'm here. I don't want to go to totally stars. You need to have some stars to get the selling
we are
going.
stars on LAMDA. We're already stars, right? So I think
So when people ask me, does your movie have stars? I say, yeah, there are two types of stars. There are 1 or 2 name recognized stars, already name recognized, like Vijay Shanti. But there will be plenty more future stars. Our goal is get the talent now and create more future stars like this Thomas Jane. Even Vijay Shanti, after this movie, became #1. Before that, she was number 2 or 3. She has a lot of competition from Suhasini and actors like Radha. But in Vijay Shanti's career took off. I'm proud to say that we made some dent. And I want to make more of that. I want to change the landscape a little bit. I call this the disruptive filmmaking. I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. Disruptive filmmaking where artists, kalakar log, are the owners of it. I am one. I am also investing, buying some of the shares of this company, but I don't want to be the only one. So we will start with the disruptive filmmaking concept, and then but for this concept, you have two critical. You have a question, Shashi.
So Meer, before we get into some of the details, right? I just wanted to step back a little bit, and maybe you to give the audience a picture of what is Maro Sandhya Ragam, right?
Okay.
So just before you go there, Padamati Sandhya Ragam, for the non-Telugu speaking audiences, you could be loosely translated as the evening raga of the West.
Right.
Padamati Sandhya Ragam. And it was a play on the word Sandhya because Vijay Shanti's character is also named Sandhya in that movie. So that's the Padamati Sandhya Ragam. It was a story about a very traditional family from India going to the US and then settling in there. She gets married to Chris, right? This person that Meer just described. Maro Sandhya Ragam is another evening raga. Maro is another evening raga. So with that background, Meer, what is Maro Sandhya Ragam? What is the broad storyline? Could you share with this audience?
Well, you already hinted it. That's another evening raga, but this time it's happening on the east. That's where the audience curiosity comes. As they say in Telugu, Maro Sandhya Ragam, Isari Turpuna.
This time in the East.
So what is happening in the East is, look at what's happening in the world. At one time, Indian folks, IITians, IIM folks, everybody and anybody who is any good was dreaming to come to US. But now, somewhat opposite is happening. India has a lot of jobs. India offers a wonderful living conditions, and things are a little cheaper actually in India than in the US. A few years ago, when I visited India, there was a subdivision. I was taking a walk, an early morning walk, and I saw 2 or 3 groups of foreigners, Chinese group, this white American boy and girl, they're also taking a walk. And I couldn't believe this is Hyderabad. This was Hyderabad. This was about 10 years ago. So what is happening now is India is a viable destination for a lot of foreigners. So Maro Sandhya Ragam, that's why it's happening on the East. It is a movie to get to a little bit more detail without giving away the storyline.
Yeah. Meer, at any point in time, I know you sent me a couple of slides. If you want me to pull up any of that, please let me know.
Yeah, we can do that. The second slide I sent you is a concept. As a concept, right? So normally this is a very, good group of people I like. We don't basically talk a lot about storyline and all that, but this is an executive summary. The audience is 18 to 75 years old, and it's a romantic drama. And the release date target is 2025, mid 2025. And I only wrote 3 key languages there: English, Telugu, and Hindi. There are 3 or 4 other languages, including Russian and Chinese. There's a group of people in Hong Kong who want to, dub this into Chinese. And then there's another cousin of mine who was in Russia, who worked for 10 years or 15 years in Russia. He wants to dub it in Russian, all that. But so the synopsis is this. You saw Padamati Sandhya Ragam. There is a white boy, Thomas Jane character, marries Vijay Shanti, and they have a daughter who looks like a typical Indian girl. What this movie is all about, this is also, as I told you, is an independent film. People who have not seen Padamati Sandhya Ragam, if they are looking at this, if they're seeing this English film, they should see it as a totally independent, standalone movie. What they will see is there's a heroine of this film is a Chris. She's a young American journalist. She has some ancestral roots in India. She goes to India, adventure, to reunite with her, favorite uncle, who she spent some childhood days with when the uncle was in India. And that uncle character is going to be played by me. It was the Ramarao character in Padamati Sandhya Ragam. I was the guy who helps hero and heroine get married in the end. So that guy, my character, has retired to India. It's a wonderful Konasima region that you see. It's a rural area, very beautiful, coconut trees and all that. You see the picture there, setting location on the right side. But she goes there, an American girl from the city, and ending up in a quaint little village. So what does the face? Some of the pleasures. She has some background, vague background, Indian background, because of her mother, who is an Indian, but her father is totally American. There's a conflict of cultures right there. Then as she enters, she just goes there out of curiosity to meet her uncle and some tourism purposes kind of, but she get caught up in situations they start very slowly with the romance, but then all of a sudden into all kinds of agitation. what I would call it, turmoil in a small little village. This village has not just Indians, a whole bunch of foreigners who are working there. So that's the story. She also meets a Krishna, is a young boy who is actually a farmer boy. Then that's the contrast here. This is an opposite of Padamati Sandhya Ragam in many ways, because there the hero was American, and here the heroine is an American, and vice versa. So we have not cities, but we are going to show Indian rural setting. So this girl is caught up between her American upbringing and also the Indian roots, and she becomes a big part of this small little village that is on fire because of the local situations. So that's the basic synopsis of it. And I end up playing that uncle who retired. And that's the connection for the Padamati Sandhya Ragam fans. They understand the story a little bit. So we want to make this story, like I just told you before, not just make another film. I want to make it a meaningful film. And this film will focus on universal integration. What is universal integration? Without caste, creed, color, country, region, it goes on to gently say, we don't have any lectures or this or that, a message, unity in diversity. And we need that because there are like 40 plus wars going on in today. 40 plus wars in the world going on. The basis of that is religion, country, region. Even within one religion, different sub classes of the same religion. This is the crazy world today. That's me. I want to make those kind of socially responsible films with the low budget artists, and I will stop there. But that's, to answer your question, that's the executive summary, Shashi.
Okay. So look now, so we what we covered in this interview till now is the why. Like, what is the motivation? What is the purpose behind movie making, etc. for Meer. We also covered a little bit about what is the movie, right? What is the movie? How the project will be formulated, etc. Before we pivot and go into the how will the movie be made? Let's pause and see if there are any questions from the audience on what we've already discussed.
Yeah, my God, that's a perfect question. See, the thing is, when I start something, I just started. I don't plan out the whole thing, but I have a big picture idea. What are the core values, and what are the key things, ingredients that we need? Then other things will come along. I don't have, when you start, right? When I started Padamati Sandhya Ragam, I did not have all the answers to all the questions, but we found answers to the questions. When you start, you don't even know some of the questions, leave alone coming up with answers, right? So, but we need two key, I know that we need two key ingredients to make a good film. One is you need independence. If I take the money from the film industry, like I was offered, I lose independence. The film industry, they are doing it only for one and only one reason, to make money. Second reason, if there is one, is to promote their own sons and daughters. That's why you see Allu Arjun, Charan, Junior NTR in Telugu film industry. That's why you see Abhishek Bachchan. So I want that, disrupt that mode. I want to take people who make sense for the roles, for their talents, if they match, fit the film. So we need that kind of independence. And so what it means is that we need few kalakars also.
Yeah.
We need freedom For freedom, that's why I came up with this concept of not just one movie, collect some money, some producer, we make one film and just have merrily go away later on. No. We want to make this at least a 5 to 10 year venture. After that, I may sell the company, or I may, let somebody else start managing the day-to-day stuff. But I'm going to get started. This for the Kalakar logs. That's why we want few Kalakar shareholders who will be a part of this company. They want to own part of this company, and they will also guide me in the strategic planning of this company. Like, remember I told you like 7 or 8 storyline concepts. After Maro Sandhya Ragam, I don't want to pick one. I want to have few of these shareholders, a few of the Kalakar logs discussing with me. Hey, this is what I have. These are my ideas. I don't want to build this company purely on my brain power. I want to get other brain powers into it. As IIMs, we know. As managers, we know the power of teams. Team members come up with wonderful ideas. That's why I'm not doing it all by myself. I could be 100% shareholder in this company. Then that's a recipe for disaster. We need good Kalakar logs. Kalakar logs think with the heart, not just with the brain. If you're not a Kalakar, you're probably not a good fit to participate in this movie. You have to have some kind of picture.
Creative juices have to be continuously
Creative
flowing.
juices.
So Meer, this audience is obviously, most of it comes from the LAMDA group, which is primarily focused on artistic pursuits. So what would be an action item? Let's say there is an artist, a Kalakar, who's listening right now. What should they do to be part of your project? What should they do? What's the next step for them?
Okay. To summarize what I just said earlier, we need 2 things. One is Kalakars to act, participate. Number 2, few Kalakars to own this movie company. Now, before I answer that question, the basic status is we have one Indian company, one US company. And I already started this film with a Muhurtam shot on Ganesh Chaturthi in India, September 6th, 2024. Movie work is already started. Story sessions completed. Startup team is formed, a writer's team and the director's team. And I already scouted some of the locations in India where we're going to shoot it. And then I'm making actually marketing plans to release the movie worldwide. Now, what we will basically need to do initially, what I need to do is to attract the shareholders, Kalakar shareholders. Initially, I started off by saying, hey, people can invest in multiples of 20 lakhs per share, $25,000 per share, and keep your money for 5 years. We plan to share 50%. The company plans to share 50% of the net profits, which is unheard of. Even my auditor told me, he works for Suresh Movies. He told me, sir, this is insane. Nobody shares 50% of the profits. I said, well, this is not our usual company. These are going to be my friends of Meer Abdulla only, and fans of Padamati Sandhya Ragam only are going to be shareholders. It's okay. If we make ton of money, why don't we share? Because they are also putting money, they are also putting their talent into this company. But that will, amount to roughly about 20% of your investment. Some people told me, 20 lakhs may be too much. For me, I want to invest. I said, okay, you can do 10 lakhs per share. If $25,000 per share is too much for you, you can buy part of the share. So the reason I want to stress the timing is important because we not only started the movie, but we are also thinking of increasing the share price actually. The purpose is also, this is initial offering. like all IPOs, all startup companies, people who join first, have an advantage. So before the share prices go up, I'm asking all my friends, wherever I go to, whatever you can comfortably afford, you should invest in it. Don't invest your life's savings. No. Whatever you can do to become a part owner of this film. See, you and I, forget about me. I can, but you cannot. I would not say you, but most of us cannot go and start a filmmaking company and invest the whole thing to make a film and take that risk completely. But we can part of it. We can buy part of the company. And how many times in your life has somebody come to you and said, hey, you should buy a part of this company and become a shareholder. You should also give yourself an opportunity to not only own a part of the company, but also to hone your talents, to act, to sing, to learn camera, whatever is it. How many times has somebody asked you? But today, I'm asking you, if you have that fire, if you have that passion, join me. And you want to show that other slide, Shashi?
Yeah.
I don't know if I covered what you were asking. Did I?
No, you covered. I think I just want to summarize it. So basically, you're looking for two types of help from this audience. One is pure artistic help, right? So people who can do whatever is needed to make the movie from an art perspective, right? So that's one. And second is you also want individuals to participate in the financials of the project, and for that you shared the structure that you're using, right? And there were some questions on the chat on what is the minimum size, etc., which of course you can you can have a one-on-one conversations, right? So there are two types of help that you're looking for. I just want to make sure that the whole team is fully aware of what you're really looking for, right?
I think you
And the two
summarized
can
well.
And the two can go together as well. So someone could be an artist and could be a financial contributor.
Shashi, I think Rao also has a question. I think since the audience is not very large, we can straight away go to the question, guys, rather than asking them to type. Rao, you have a question?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Meerji, for doing this and for spending time with us. You may or may not remember, I know we interacted a couple of weeks ago when I posted my uncle's recital of, the famous Telugu Padyam. And then immediately I put NTR's clip in the movie clip, he reciting the same Padyam. He immediately called me, right, saying that, okay, that's good to hear after a long time. Let me give you a little bit background before asking my question. I also have a very great interest in the filmmaking. I actually made one short movie, a few years ago. At that time, all that I had was few resources, a camera, and then I also bought very cheap, lighting equipment. I made my own dollies using plastics. I used my son as an actor at the time. When I went through that process, I had to read a lot of stuff around, how to make a movie, the workflow, and then how do I translate a script into a working script. I also wrote one script for the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, finance students, when they were making a short movie. I had to follow the same process. So since you mentioned about disruption, my question is, I know this even though it is very interesting when it comes to the art aspect of the filmmaking, but when you get down to the details in terms of writing script, breaking down the script into the chunks that are in a way that the actors can actually absorb it and then act, it's a very painful process. There is not so much of fun, at least that's what I found. So my question is, are you planning on leveraging the technology aspects? For example, if I have to block a scene, I had to literally draw a picture and then understand where in my case, for my son, just to tell him, how the scene actually is going to play out, you create a blocking picture, and you have to literally draw that picture. And I've seen so many directors doing that. Whereas with the technology, it has become so easy, translating a script to a working script, blocking the scenes, or even creating other types of material. So are you planning on using any of these or all of these because in my mind, I like the way you put it, disrupting this particular aspect of the filmmaking is going to pave a path for a lot of filmmakers, because people like you and me and maybe others, we may not have that much of a budget or a financing, resources. But if we have the intention and at least a good story and a good script, utilizing technology for disrupting the whole process will be helpful. So my question is, are you planning on doing any such?
Meer?
Answer is absolutely yes. I actually started using AI, believe it or not. So we will be using digital technology because I'm a technology manager. I visit San Jose area, Silicon Valley. I'm actually right now in Silicon Valley, San Jose right now, as we speak. So I'm already using AI for some of the content I generate, and then I edit it. The digital, I already talked to folks in India who are into one of the pioneers. Some of them are pioneers in the film industry doing the digital editing, digital marketing and all that. The answer is definitely yes. And I also seen Raj Gandhashri. Personally, I know him. He has the question, which is, what is the smallest fraction of the share that can be bought? There are two answers. As a artist, I want to say, yeah, you can invest a small fraction also. But again, if we do that, we will end up with way too many shareholders. I don't want to have a crowdfunding. We want to have friends funding, meaning friends of Meer Abdulla and fans of Padamati Sandhya Ragam. So rather than go very small, we said we can go at least till half the share. I did this for some of my friends in India also. So half is okay. Again, on a one-on-one basis, we can talk about it. But the key idea is for you to get involved with the least amount of disruption for your life.
True.
And
So
then
you can use
participate in it. Yeah.
I was saying, although fractional shares can be sold and you're worried about dilution,
Right.
but you can use this, like the way number of votes, the voting power, decision power is proportional to number of votes you have, number of shares you have.
That is
you can
actually
use
getting into too many specifics, but let me
Yeah.
just answer it and move on to other questions.
Right.
Basically, what it is that voting and non-voting are two different things. Voting is basically we are offering somebody who invests about $100,000 or roughly the equivalent of it to be the voting shareholder.
I
They will
see.
also be directors. They will also be given the title director of the company. They will be also helping with other things.
Yeah, like board.
Correct. The smaller amounts, that's informal thing, polling their thoughts. I want to be in touch with them personally. Hey, by the way, we have these 10 stories. What do you think? Do you have a story idea? And a lot of these folks are, remember, my friends, like you are. I went to Raj, and he's a wonderful, active IIMer knittier in San Jose area. He actually, good thing about Raj is he takes industrial engineering to an extreme level in his kitchen.
Yeah, he's also a farmer, Meer.
Your hero is also a
Just the
farmer,
connection
right?
to the movie.
Your hero is an agriculturalist in Andhra.
Vivek is already recommending me. But
Actually,
yeah.
as a humorous interlude, one of Raj's invention is he has demonstrated this, how to cut okra, bhendi, in the most efficient way. And he has shown me his invention, and I have seen it in action. It was wonderful. But anyway, to answer your question, do your best to at least go half to start with. If not, let's talk one-on-one. No worries.
Yeah,
And,
I need to sync up with you. I've been busy with some
yeah, sure.
deliverables at work.
No worries. No worries.
So Meer, just to bring it
Since you
to
are
close.
Silicon Valley, we can meet this weekend. Try to meet this weekend. I will sync up with you. But I had a question on the story. Padamati Sandhya Ragam I have seen several times. It's my most favorite movie and among my family members too. Everybody who can speak Telugu knows about that movie. So that's so awesome. No movie ever made that kind of impression in anybody's life. So from all the way from, Gen Z's 20-year-old to 50-year-old, everybody
Thank you.
knows about that movie.
So
So it's
this
great.
movie is for the fans of Padamati Sandhya Ragam, not just
Yes.
friends of Meer Abdulla.
Yeah,
Raj, what's the
it's
question? You had a question, you
expanded.
said.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
go
but
ahead.
the question is, the movie ends in when the movie in that movie ended, the girl is already grown up in India. She is like probably teenager or like around that. But I might have missed a little bit, but the story of this Maro Sandhya Ragam is starting with the girl has grown up in the US, and she is imbibed with American culture and how
Yeah,
did she adapt in.
I kind of know the question, Raj. To
Yeah.
answer that question, వెండి
You may have to
తెరపైన
change that.
చూడండి, వెండి తెరపైన చూడండి.
Right,
You
right,
have
right.
to see
Yeah,
it on
that's
the
okay.
silver screen.
We
That
will
is the
remember all the
story.
details, right? I remember all the details, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's cool.
Okay.
The idea is really good. The storyline, now that I got to know, it's a mirror image of the original, reflection of the original story. So I'm sure it's going to be hit, and
Thank
I
you.
need to. I will sync up with you on all the details and all my plans. Yeah.
Perfect.
Hey, so because we started a little bit late, so we're going slightly later. So we have maybe another 5 minutes. We can take one other question before we close with the next steps. So
I had
any
a
question?
comment. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Meer, this is Jagdish. We met at
Hi,
NITI
Jagdish.
Yes,
Would you
yes,
like to
Jagdish.
switch on your camera?
Jagdish, where are
Yeah.
you?
I'm in Dubai.
Okay, good, good. Yeah.
I had an observation actually, based on the synopsis that you shared, very similar theme, and probably it was an NRI or OCI. Sevar Magan, Kamal Hassan and Shivaji Ganeshan, right? Very, very similar kind of a storyline where they come from overseas, return to a small village, and then there are some communal, similar things. It is just an observation that I made. Maybe if you
Yeah.
have not seen that movie, probably should when you get time, have a look at it.
Definitely.
What's the
definitely.
movie name?
There is a
Sevar-
story. There are 5 different versions of the story everywhere. It's all
Yes,
it's all
yes.
good. That I take it as somebody is validating the concept, which
Yes,
is good.
yes,
But
yeah,
we'll make it in
yes.
a different way. Yeah.
Yeah, damsel in distress. Yeah, that's a very unique idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sevar Magan. And the other Telugu movie which really hit the right spots is the Hyderabad Blues, right? Very similar to like novices creating a movie and then going really well amongst all the NRIs who had settled overseas. And
I have to tell
so
you this. I have to tell you this. Hyderabad, I don't want to really say this public form, but I met one close associate of the gentleman who made Hyderabad Blues, Nagesh Kukkunoru.
Yeah.
I was told
Yes.
he was a chemical engineer. He got inspired by Padamati Sandhya Ragam, sold everything, took $40,000 or $50,000 he had. I personally didn't meet Nagesh, but I met his close associate, and that's what I was told. I think that I'm happy to know that we have inspired few people already, and we want to inspire more. And by the way, thanks. Nice meeting with you on this form also, Jagdish. We sat next to each other in the DAA function. I was given the Distinguished Alumnus Award. I was not what I would call A+ student. So grade-wise, I'm an okay student. But NITI was very kind in giving me that award. Thanks to somebody here who has taken the time to nominate me.
Oh, no. So look, just in the interest of everybody's time, I know it's getting a little bit late in India. So I want to make sure that Meer put together a slide to talk about like how to stay in touch with him, so I want to pull that up. I want to make sure that before people leave, I want them to see that. And then of course we can, yeah, so this is the summary of everything that we discussed today. Meer talked about it. So it's a sequel. It's also an independent story. Shooting has already started. I mean, some of the pre-production work has already started. It's a low-budget movie, and it's multilingual for a broad-based audience, right? With that, and Meer has provided his contact details. I think those are important. Of course, he's also there on the WhatsApp group, etc. So you can also contact him there. But just in case you have any specific questions, you want to make sure that you have the coordinates available to you to reach out to Meer. Meer, with that, let me pause. And is there any comments that you want to make before I hand it back to Vivek for
One
closing?
comment I want to make is, first of all, I want to thank you guys, Shashi for the coordination and Vivek for creating this. Vivek is a founder of this group. He's doing an awesome job. I love this opportunity to talk to you guys. First time it was about Padamati Sandhya Ragam. This time about Maro Sandhya Ragam. What I wanted to leave you all was, I'm just like one of you. The very fact that you are here today means that you have a spark in you. I hope you can join on this journey that I just started with me and hone on your skills. Whatever you want to do, acting, talent, direction team, or photography team. Rao already made a film. Somebody like him may join me on the director's team. So whatever it is, give that spark a chance. If you don't, we can always lead, we can always lead mundane lives, collect a bunch of money and die in the end, right? We're all going to do that. But before you do that, it's good to give a chance to your kala. I don't believe I have any more different. I don't believe I have any more talent than you guys have. I'm serious about it. The only difference is this, as somebody said, success is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. Why am I doing this? With all the wonderful management consulting business, making ton of money, why I am throwing all that, stopped all that, and trying to do this is to give a chance to that spark. We made Padamati Sandhya Ragam. It was well accepted by you all. I'm thankful for it. But I want to give back. I want to give back something to the NITI community. That's what I told NITI during my DAA speech. I want to give back to Kalakars. We are creating a forum, a platform, an opportunity for you. You don't have to risk as much as I am risking. Just get involved, but with the heart, with not the brain. Brain is good to execute, but heart is needed to start the participation, to start the journey. And I, again, thank you for talking to you guys. It's all wonderful. I stay silent in LAMDA a lot, but from time to time, when there is something important, I would love to come and speak with you. There's no greater pleasure for me than to talking to Kalakar Logs. And it really gives me a pleasure. I only met Vani Garu yesterday, and we talked for 1.5 hours. So each one of you will qualify to be one of those. I welcome you to connect with me one-on-one. And there is a email, there is a phone number. I look forward to the interaction. I look forward to the journey with you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you, Meer. With that, let me hand it back to Vivek to close the session. And thanks everyone for joining in.
Yeah, thank you very much, Meer. It was again a very inspiring session. It's always a pleasure to hear you. And Shashi, thank you for being a wonderful host as you were last time.
Thank you.
I'm very excited about your new project, and I will be in touch on how we can leverage and collaborate together. I understand that about 11 people attended the session, but there were many more probably who wanted to join, and they had some kind of a clash given the festive season in India. So we have recorded this session, and we will make this recording available through the LAMDA YouTube channel. Yeah. Just to know what Meer said, it reminds me of a sher before I call it a day today, written by Dushyant Kumar Sahab, कि कैसे आकाश में सुराख हो नहीं सकता, एक पत्थर तबीयत से उछालो तो यारो. That is what it is all about, right? Anything is possible. Anything is possible. We have to just take the first step, which is always the most difficult step. On the logistics, I will work with Meer and Shashi. We might create another separate WhatsApp group for those who are part of the project, because we would not want to discuss the day-to-day logistics and other things in the wider forum of LAMDA, where we have close to 600. So thank you very much once again. And those who joined, I would request that do actively participate in LAMDA. The LAMDA was created not just as a conduit to bring us together in the COVID time, but as a platform to launch the new talent. And I'm very happy that Meer is doing through this one movie project. Now, that's the one big project. But even in our own small ways, I would love this LAMDA to grow to the extent that any talent which comes up from the future batches, if I put their YouTube video, immediately it reaches to a few thousand of the people. Now, today, the media has become much more democratized, right? We are no longer dependent on large production houses. That is why everything is possible. Whether you are a writer, you can self-publish. You are a content creator, you are a singer, you are a poet, or you are a musician. Today, we have that power because of the democratization of all these channels. So LAMDA is your own channel. Use it to leverage and showcase your talent. Be more active in it.
To
Thank
add
you
to
very
Vivek's
much.
point, you don't even have to have talent. If you can think of an idea, you can use AI to convert that into script or movie or whatever. So all you need is creative thinking. So it's even more advanced. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So good day to all the friends from joining from West, and a very good night to all the guys who are joining from East. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
All
Thank
right.
you, everyone.
Have a good night, good day.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye now.